Happy Friday, everybody. Let's take a look at the late pick five at Gulfstream Park, starting with race number five. And before we get into it, we should note that according to my weather app, it looks like there's a very strong chance of rain this afternoon, anywhere from 50 to 60% through the afternoon hours for Hallandale Beach, Florida. So I think we're at real risk that these races could come off the turf. And if they do, I've picked horses that I think still could make sense if they come off the turf before three of the five races are scheduled for the grass. So let's start with race number five. Number six, Harper Go Lucky. If you're an NHC player, you know that he won one of the earlier races on I guess it was Friday of the last NHC that we had, which was over a year ago. Anyway, Harper Go Lucky reunited with Paco Lopez, who has been aboard two times recently. Both times Paco rode Harper Go Lucky to second place finishes. If you look at the last race, was wide and kind of ran on late. It was a pretty good effort. And I think the combination of Paco and maybe a little bit more of an early pace in here could help Harper Go Lucky. So I think as you're crafting your pick five play, make sure you give a look to Harper Go Lucky. There are a number of others in here that make obvious sense. You don't need me to tell you that. But that's going to be one of the horses that I key on. And then if we go to race six, maiden special weight, mile and 16th on the grass, there are two in here for Christophe Clement. At least at the moment, there are two. I'm recording this early, pre-scratches. Number seven, Dance Warrior. First-time starter by Pioneer of the Nile out of the mare Only by the Night. And Only by the Night has produced one sibling to Dance Warrior, and that's Nocturnal, a Pletcher 4-year-old who, well, as a 3-year-old, debuted with a 93 buyer going 7 furlongs, and then off the long layoff came back and put up back-to-back winning efforts with buyers in the 90s. So, I mean, there's reason to believe that this mare Only by the Night is... she's producing runners, and with Jaramillo getting the mount, maybe I'd like it more if Paco picked up the mount for the, Paco's on the other Clement, who makes a lot of sense as well. And sometimes I get a little bit squirrely when a trainer's got two horses entered. It's like, well, did he enter one just to make sure the race filled? But then you got to guess which one he actually likes, and I don't know. My only reason for even really looking at number 7, Dance Warrior, is because the mare, produced that Nocturnal horse, who's pretty solid and put up a 93 buyer, whatever it was on debut. So, I'm not saying that means Dance Warrior is going to run a 93 buyer first time out on the grass, but I think that's one you definitely want to pay attention to. Moving on to race 7, number 3, Mr. Axel is my pick in here. And I'll be honest, I handicapped this race 2 days ago, and I don't exactly remember why I picked Mr. Axel. In re-handicapping the race this morning, he made a lot of sense, and there were some things that I like. We noticed a kind of a jump up in class. Last time out ran the N2L level 12.5, and in here it's up to 20, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think what I liked is that there looks to be some pace signed on in here, and I think Mr. Axel has the ability to kind of stay close-ish and might have a little more closing kick than some of these. If we look at Timeform US pace projections, an 86 late pace projection, 66, 88 early, 66 late, and the 66 late is one of the faster ones in the field. I guess there are only two that are faster, but I think Mr. Axel figures to be a little closer than those others. And I think second race off a layoff. Look, this horse won for maiden 50 at Kentucky Downs, second off a layoff. This layoff here isn't quite as long, but I think there's reason to believe that Mr. Axel will run pretty well here. And 6-1, I'm not sure we get 6-1 or not, but that's a pretty nice price in my opinion. And moving on to race 8, number 7, and I believe it's pronounced Gage Conquest, I think. Here's my logic there. Put up back-to-back 67 buyers, and if you watch other videos, you know that I don't always think buyer speed figures are the be-all, end-all. of handicapping tools. But I've noticed that when a horse puts up a lifetime top and then matches that lifetime top in the next start, you often see another forward move. Now, this race here is at 6 furlongs, and Gage Conquest, both of those 67s came at the 1 turn mile. Now we're back to 6 furlongs, where he's had success. He's 4 exacta finishes from 7 starts, including 2 wins. This is the kind of horse in the past I've often ignored. You notice Paco Lopez picks up the mount for, I think it's Kelly Breen, isn't it? Yes. But Paco always rides for Kelly Breen, so I wouldn't make too much out of Paco choosing the other horse over the 7 here. But I don't want to get burned by this kind of horse again, and I think given the the back-to-back 67 buyers, it's reasonable to expect another forward move. And again, I think this one is going to benefit from a little bit of a quick pace up front. We've got Converter 96 Timeform US early pace projection. Ensign Parker, who's also got a real shot, another 96. And there's one other in here, Flipping Fish 100, Uncaptured Soldier 102, Jackson Strong at 98. So I think we're going to get some pace for the 7, Gage Conquest. And I think if that happens, a forward move is not impossible off those back-to-back 67s. And again, if buyers are your thing and you look through the field, a forward move off of 67 would make this one tough to beat, I think. Let's move on to race 9. 20 claimers going 5 on the grass. At least it's scheduled for the grass. So Include the Beast for Aubrey Mirage is making her first start on turf. If we look at the mare Spring Included, we'll notice that in her first time sprinting on the grass, first time turf, sprinting a 6 furlong win at Kentucky Downs over 9 opponents, with Robbie Alvarado aboard, of all riders. Granted, that was 7 years ago, but Kentucky Downs is not an easy place to win. And Spring Included did it, making her turf debut going 6. And if we look at the rest of her past performances, she ran well on turf. In terms of her offspring, not a lot to look at in terms of offspring. The siblings to the runner here, not a whole heck of a lot to compare to. So the play for me is that maybe this one moves up first time on the grass, and I think there's some turf breeding there. So let's give number 5, Include the Beast, a chance in the finale. So those are the plays, all of them based on the races being on the grass. But I'll be honest, some of these, like even this one here, the Include the Beast, I certainly don't think you should throw her out if it comes off the turf. I also don't think you're going to get 8-1. So she's one you can include. And the same would, I think, go for the Clement first or Dance Warrior. The half sibling has never raced on turf and has done really well on dirt and by Pioneer the Nile. So, dirt turf shouldn't be an issue anyway. Anyway, those are the plays for the pick 5. Good luck.